Hey, it is Lily, and in this video we'll be looking at what I have inked up for April 2024. So there are 12 pen and ink combos. Let's jump into it. First off, we have Palette Iroshizuku Murasaki Sikibu. It is a lovely purple color. It is in my Midori MD paper 70th anniversary limited edition pen. It is a medium steel nib pen, and I got this off Facebook Marketplace, and I've inked it up with Midori MD's ink before. This is my first time inking it with something else. So far it looks alright. I don't know how it's going to go. It was a little bit troublesome to get a full ink fill, which I think is quite normal with cartridges anyway, but I tried my best to fill this one completely up. I used an ink syringe and everything, and I got ink all over my fingers, but it was worth it, I think. Anyway, second we have Robert Oster, their collaboration with Pulp Addiction, Blue Addiction, and it is in my Pens by Casey blue and purple pen with a fine steel nib. So this is like a resin mix kind of swirl thing there, really pretty. I have no idea what the name is, and it is quite a chunky pen as well, but I do enjoy it. I totally appreciate and understand how handmade pens are so popular. I only have two, this one and the red one. So the red one is something I will get to in a little bit, but for this pen and ink combo, I think this ink is a good match so far. I really do like it. I received it free when I purchased something from Pulp Addiction. Next up, we have this lovely kind of, I guess it's kind of similar to the last ink. It's by Colorverse, SM1 is the name, and it is in my Waterman Expert black chrome trim with an 18K fine nib. And I love this pen. It's very reliable. The nib is kind of bouncy as well because it has, that gold in it. I do enjoy it, and I'll see how I go with this. I received this ink sample as a freebie when I purchased something off someone, and yeah, very kind of them. And next up we have a rollover from the previous month. It is the Palette Iroshizuku Amairo in my Navila or Narwhal pen collab with Cult Pens Azure C, and it is in a broad steel nib. So I no longer have this ink, but I am enjoying it. I just don't think I need another ink bottle with this exact same color. I have some other colors that are very similar. It doesn't mean that I don't enjoy this color though, but I am trying to curate my collection, my stash. That's all. So here's the pen, really lovely, would recommend. Next up we have my Navila or Narwhal and Galen Leather collaboration. This is a rose gold demo, and it is in a broad steel nib. The ink is Robert Oster Romeo and Juliet, and it is very light. I think it's hard to see there. There is some shading, but it is super light. I don't know, for some reason I thought this would be darker from what I saw online, but in person it is quite light. I don't know if I would be comfortable using this in a finer nib, but in this broad nib it is quite legible. I'll see how I go with this one. As you know, I'm not a huge fan of light inks. Next up we have this Palette Kakuno Clear in a medium steel nib. It is inked up with Robert Oster Sydney Darling Harbour. My first time using this ink, I had tried to put it in TWSBI Eco, the mint blue one that I have that has a medium nib, and it was just so liquidy, and it was just kind of weird when I tried to write with it. So I took the ink out and then put it in here, and I think it's going to perform better. We'll see how it goes. It looks like there's quite a bit of shading, a kind of murky green kind of color. I don't know, not how I imagined this either. I thought it would be more vibrant. Next up, we have my Waterman Expert. This is the metallic black lacquer, and it has like the ruthenium trim. It is in a medium steel nib. It is inked up with my Robert Oster green diamond sample, and I received the sample kindly from someone, the same person who actually gifted me the Colorverse SM1 sample. So there's a lot more in the ink vial than I initially thought. So I think I'll definitely have a couple more uses of the ink sample, which is lovely. But yeah, nice vibrant kind of green. Next up, we have my Narwhal Novella Original Plus Spring in a fine steel nib. I had inked this up with Robert Oster's Avocado last month, and this month I have Diamine Green Black in it. So first time using this ink, it really does look black. I like it so far, and I definitely think I prefer it to the Avocado just based off on like the very limited writing I have done so far. But this is kind of like an ink combo that is more up my alley. So there is the bottle and the pen. Next up, we have my Parker IM. This is in the black chrome trim with a fine steel nib. I have it inked up with Diamine Syarah, so Syarah. It is a kind of like dark blood kind of color. It has been a while since I've used a red, so I thought that this would be good. Yeah, I think I'll enjoy it. It's not super bright, but it's kind of like a dark fall autumn kind of red. And I guess, something different as well. Here is the bottle and the pen. Next up, we have my Pens by Casey red purple resin in a fine steel nib, inked up with a sample I received. The lady who sold me this pen and also the blue purple version, she gave me a sample, which is very kind of her, and I'm very thankful. It is Warringal's Pride and Prejudice, and it is a beautiful kind of like, I guess, a bright mallow kind of color, and it is my first time trying a Warrigal ink, and this one is quite wet. I think we'll see how we go. I think I'll enjoy it. I think it matches the pen very well as well. And second last, we have my Palette Kakuno. This one is the Family Series Girl Pink, and it has a medium steel nib. My first time inking it up, it has Diamine's Deep Magenta in it. And this magenta, well, it is bright. Like, I know magenta is supposed to be bright, but yeah, this one is quite bright. I do like it. I don't know if it's so, I guess, in your face, maybe. I think I'll see how I go as the month progresses, but I did write with it a little bit. So I wrote A5 pages in my Maduri MD grid paper. So you will see the writing sample coming up here soon. And yeah, it is very bright, really nice, a super saturated kind of color. There is some shading there that you can see with the ink splotches, and I think it's lovely. I just don't know if it is particularly me. We'll see how we go. And last, but in this case also least, if you watch my last video, you know how I feel about this pen and ink combo. It is my TWSBI Diamond 580 RBT in a broad steel nib. It is inked up with Robert Oster's Sushi, and it's like a salmon-y kind of sushi color. I do think it's quite a nice, lovely spring kind of color, but I do prefer saturated inks, which is why this isn't particularly for me, but I will continue to use it because it is very legible. It does not perform very well on A4 copy paper though, which is what I predominantly use, like 99.9% of the time, but in this Maduri MD paper, it looks fine, and it is very legible. I just, prefer other colors for inks. That is all. But yeah, this is a rollover as well from last month. So this one and the Nevela collab with the Cult pens in Azura Blue are both rollovers. So that is it. These are my 12 pen and ink combos for April 2024. I think I will enjoy them. I'm glad to have some more greens and a splash of purple and red in here as well, which was missing from my last month. So I'm really hoping to have like a bigger kind of range rather than just like 5 blues or something. So thank you for watching. I will catch you in the next video. Bye.